Hello, 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 hello. Yes, yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. Wherever you're tuning in from the world, I'm tuning in from Toronto. It's morning out here. Good morning, good morning. Hope your weekend was restful. Hope you're ready to start the week. Hope you've pocketed all the procrastination. Hope you set all your goals for the week and hope you're ready to win today. I hope everything is going to be very good for us for the year. Today, following the sequel of our Mindset Monday, I believe the first week we all discussed procrastination. I hope um, you all are living a life free of procrastination now. I know it's a very tough order, but I hope you're being intentional about it because that's the only way. You have to be intentional about it just to achieve the desired results. Last week we were focusing on setting smart goals, and I hope you all are starting to implement that also. Starting to create smart goals, achievable goals, specific goals, measurable goals, with a time frame allocated to your goals. I hope you started that exercise. And please, on the chat box, if you have started on that exercise, if you have any wins, if you have anything to share, kindly put it on the chat box and to share with everybody. Um, Today, what we're going to be talking about today is about decision making, removing indecisiveness from our lives. I found this to be a topic we need to discuss now because there is a lot of stuff going on around the world currently right now that will require us to make decisive and specific decisions to because there are stuff going on that might that will have an impact in our lives. you know um a lot of people feel concerned about making wrong choices. Those are one of the critical reasons why we're stuck with indecisiveness. But really and truly, by not making any choice at all, we're actually making a choice and we're deciding not to choose any destination path. That's what it actually means. So, excuse me, sorry about that. Um, yeah, sorry about that. So, by not making a decision, you actually do make a decision, but you have decided not to choose a path or a destination. So it's very important that we are intentional also about making decisive decision and on time. A typical way of coming to a decision actually involves around making attempt to compare, our decisions to the consequences of the possible actions in the future. Um, these choices we perceive as the best considered option, but actually this method can actually have its own drawback. And the first challenge you have is you are unable to predict the future. So when you are actually preempting your decision based on future actions, but can you really predict the future? Second challenge is that you are likely to become more paralyzed. The more you keep thinking about the consequences of not taking this action, it actually gives you more paralysis. And then, the issues, now get unsurmountable. But guess what? This issue do require you to make a decision and you to create a direction. I'll give a clear, very, very fitting example that is going on right now globally, which is on the issue of the COVID-19 vaccines. We are all stuck with that decision. For a lot of us, it's a big decision. For some people, it's a foregone conclusion. But some are still undecided. Why should we take it? Why should we not take it? There are all bunch of conspiracy theories out there trying to promote the unsafety of the vaccines and whatnot, whatnot. These are all informations out there to help us make a decision. But the critical thing that we need to focus on about this decision that we have to make is, what is the impact right now to my decision, to my life? It's very important. If I select the option to take this vaccine, how will it impact my life right now? If I select not to take the vaccines, how will it impact my life right now? What changes will I experience immediately? What changes will I experience immediately? One thing we have to understand and we have to consider when we're making these decisions are, we have to focus on our reality of today. Present day reality is this: there is COVID-19 spreading. There is research and scientific research that shows that taking the vaccines protects us to some extent. The efficacy of it has been proven to be up to 90 something percent. Now, taking these vaccines, according to what the CDC claims, not me, I'm not a doctor, according to the information out there that is available to everybody, and according to what the CDC claims, when you do take these vaccines, what it does is actually, it gives you, protects you against the virus, but it does not stop you from catching the virus, but then you become asymptomatic. So your body is able to fight the effects of the virus. That's what they claim. Now, if you also look at what's happening globally, you're going to be stuck with one or two things. And that's why you're thinking about your present situation is extremely important. Because, for instance, if you look at in Australia right now, Qantas Airline is already, promoting the fact that no vaccines, no flying. So we're already seeing that this vaccine, by its introduction, is actually going to be, in the very near future, going to be a new way of life. There might actually be a lot of things that you are not able to do without you taking the vaccines. Now, here are your choices. Do I take it or do I not take it? Do I decide not to take it because of all the sentiments I see out there? And then I get stuck with my present situation, because now when the laws and the bylaws start to come that prohibits you, if you don't have the vaccine, to do XYZ thing, where would that leave you? Are you still going to go back and take it or not? If you don't take it, what are the consequences of you getting and surviving COVID if you get it? So those are the decisions you need to weigh. There are a lot of future fears, no doubt about it. There are future fears, but then there are also future studies that elevate and eliminate those fears. So it is important that we make decisive decisions on time, because if we don't, when we look at the impact, the choices we will have on us in the present moment, then we will have the art to decide very quickly. Okay, we'll have the art to decide very quickly. I'm going to be sharing a few tips. That's what I'm going to call them. Like I said, everything I share here is a subject of my opinion. Is a subject of some of the things I use personally over the last 3 decades of my life, running businesses of my life, to keep me focused and to keep me towards achieving my goals. So I'm going to share some of the tips I use in terms of mastering my decision-making process. And then maybe you all can take one or two cues from it. And whatever you're doing that is working, you can keep doing it. If they feel there's anything I've said today that might make sense, then you can implement it into whatever you're currently doing. But for me, this is not, these are normally the steps I take, or these are what goes on within me when I'm faced with making either a big or small or any decisions at all. The first thing I normally think about is the purpose. I always think about the essence of the purpose of the decisions I have to make. Do these decisions, are they aligning with the choices and with my values? These decisions, do they align with my values? It's very, very important. I'm going back again today. I'm going to stick more towards this current the current affairs that I know is, it's lingering on everybody's mind, which is the issue of taking the COVID-19 vaccines. Now, first thing you need to decide or you need to remember is the purpose of why we have to take these vaccines. We have to take the vaccines first and foremost to protect ourselves, secondly, to protect our community, to protect our loved ones, to protect the people around us, because it's believed that the more people that have it, the more herd immunity we are going to develop. I believe I saw something with Dr. Fauci that says once we're able to achieve 80% of herd immunity, and then we are pretty much now back into normalcy. So we need to remember the purpose why we need to take the vaccines. One of the critical purposes, I believe everybody is tired of this lockdown. Everybody really wants to get on with their life. Everybody wants to be able to hug their family. Everybody wants to be able to hug their friends. So that's a critical purpose. And now science has shown that if we do these things, we in a couple of months we can go back to normalcy. So that purpose is a clear one for us to decide, to help us decide if we're taking it or we're not taking it. Another important factor is, gather the right information. It's important you gather the right information. Don't put too much energy on social media news. Try and look for facts out there. Talk to your GP. Talk to the professionals that you know in your network. Get their own opinion. But what is important when you're gathering information to make a decision is not to allow the information gathering process become too lengthy that it now starts to drag into a procrastination stage. So it's important. You need to put a time limit to it. So, for instance, once the vaccines become readily available to everybody in your neighborhood, and if you're still undecided, you need to make up your mind. Okay, I'm going to give myself a couple of weeks or a couple of days, research this information, and decide for me and for my family and for my network if I am going to do it or not. But don't take too long trying to gather information, because like I said, when you're taking too long, procrastination sets in, unreliable information starts to come in. So it's important you gather the right information. It's important to have good information for you to be able to make informed decision, but don't let information gathering lead you into procrastination. Next one that I believe or I use is I always make sure I clarify all my options. Yeah, I do clarify all my options, tabulate all my options, and which I have done earlier on today regarding these vaccines. What are my options? If I don't take it, is it going to reduce my flexibility to commute? Is it going to reduce my flexibility to interact? Like I said, we don't know what the bylaws are going to come about, but we are already seeing signals when the likes of Qantas Airline in Australia are already indicating that no vaccines, no travel. So these are all the things the options that we need to bring in front of us. What do I do? Do I require traveling all the time? If I don't take this, how is this going to impact my life? So all of these things, make sure we clarify our options that will help us clearly to make and weigh into our decision. Another factor, sorry, I can see we have people checking in, coming. If you are on right now, let me know where you're checking in from. Let me see. Sorry, I have to go on my laptop now to see who is online. So if you're on right now with us, just put it on the chat box out there where you see where you're checking in from. You can also share this video if you think what I'm saying makes sense. Share it with your friends on your network to join and get some of these tips today. I'm gonna move along. Another thing we need to factor in when we are trying to make decisions is to weigh the different factors available to us. Some items are bound to be more important to us than the others. Let me give you an example outside of COVID right now. Let's assume you're considering a career change, or you're looking for jobs and you get two options or two job offers. It's important you weigh all the different factors attributed to these offers. It's not just about the salary alone. You have to score them based on the salary, based on the commute time to work, and all the other considerations. Is it coming with benefit? Is it not coming with benefit? Is the benefit package involves your family, you're a family man or not? So all these are things that you need to put into consideration, and you need to weigh all your options to help you make a better informed decision. Another one that is important is making a commitment. Try to always make a commitment. Select your favorite option, let it sink in, let it sink in. And once you've defined and you've identified your clear winner, let go of all the temptations to keep rehashing about other scenarios. Maybe this will work, maybe that will work. Now, once you've identified your clear winner, let go of this temptation and make that commitment to see it through. Once that is done, next thing is to make sure you move forward. Move forward with that decision. Right away, put that decision into action. Do whatever it takes to make that decision work. Do whatever it takes to make that decision work. And in doing that, it goes to my next thing that allows you that you must always evaluate your progress. There is no decision that is fixed. I can decide today I am going to do this. Ever in a few days' time, if I evaluate that my results are not comparable to what I want, I am able to review and just make another decision to always achieve my goal. So it's important that we analyze the outcomes. This will help us to enjoy our victory, and will also enable us to make necessary modification as needed. So how are we all doing so far? I hope we've all been able to learn those are some of the masteries I use to help myself make decisions effectively and on time without procrastinating. It's very, very important, especially for a businessman, that decisions made are made apt. Decisions made are made aptly and on point, and it's very, very important. You cannot be seen as a leader that is undecided, cannot be seen as a leader that is struggling to make decisions. It's going to have an impact on your team. It's going to have an impact on the productivity of your business, of your team, and everybody. Everybody needs to be able to look up to a leader that is ready to make mistakes. Not all decisions are going to give you favorable results, but a leader must be able to make decisions and own up to the decisions that they've made. I'm going to also share a few tricks on how to overcome obstacles to decision making. Yes, because why aren't we making decisions on time? What will be the things that are triggering us, that is slowing us down from making these decisions? So I have a few tips that I'm going to share with you all that can actually help you overcome some of these obstacles. When you're faced with, let's assume you have a big decision to make. One thing is important. You make sure you avoid acting on impulse or creating an unnecessary pressure on yourself to pick up an option when you're still feeling very unsure. You may see things more clearly when you sleep on a decision or talk with someone you really can trust their judgment. So it's very important when you have to make a decision, don't rush into it. If you're being pressured, it's good to always take a step back and slow down. Nothing, the big saying is, let me sleep over it. It's a very wise saying. So if you're unsure, take a minute to take a cue, go think about it, consult people you can trust. So that way, when you do come back, you are able to make a better informed decision. Um, Another important way is to always listen to your feelings. Yes. I'll try to listen to your feelings because your emotions most times tell you what you really value. So it's important you listen to your emotions, to your feelings, because your emotions have the ability to tell you what you really value. If you pay attention If an otherwise reasonable choice causes you anxiety for you, or less conventional routes to make you, bring a smile out of your face, always refer back to the internal feeling you're feeling inside. It's important because this is linked to the real values that drive you. Another thing that might cause us to make to be making, or slowing down or having indecisiveness is fears. So another quick way to overcome that is to face our fears and head on. Yes, face your fears head on. Risk are naturally a part of life. We all know that. So when you acknowledge your fears, you allow yourself to be able to sort through them. I'll repeat that again. When you acknowledge your fears on a decision. First, you need to acknowledge it, because once you acknowledge it, then it's easier for you to sort through them. But when you don't acknowledge your fears, when you hide behind your fears, that will never allow you to be able to see a solution. It will block all reasoning capacity to see solution. So it's important we face our fears, acknowledge it. Once we acknowledge it, you start seeing how we're going to start seeing solutions. Another thing that may cause indecisiveness is when we have too many choices. And a lot of people tend to do this to themselves. You just have so many choices, and now it becomes impossible, for you to choose. Normally when you are faced with decisions, like I said earlier on with the vaccines, we have so many choices, and now a lot of people are overwhelmed with information. A lot of people are overwhelmed with all the conspiracy theories out there. They may be true, they may not be true. Who knows? A lot of people are overwhelmed with all the information coming from the scientists, and some countries don't even believe that COVID exists. So all of this information can become quite overwhelming. It's important that you need to narrow down what's important to you, what works with your values, so that you are able to make a final decision for yourself if you're taking these vaccines or you're not taking it. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Another thing is when you're having indecisiveness, is make sure you distance yourself. Um, just try and distance yourself from that old decision first, and then imagine. Understand? You are faced with the decision and you're unsure. Another strategy is, distance yourself from that decision. Okay. Then imagine what advice you're going to give someone else in that same circumstance. That's normally and most times and actually a good way to persuade yourself to think more objectively about the decision you're about to make. Another one is being able to accept some trade-offs. What if several options offer different advantages? Like I mentioned earlier with the vaccines again, taking it has its advantages and lots of advantages. Not taking it, some people claim it has its advantages, and some people claim it has its disadvantages. But at some point, you may have to let go of some of these things to gain the things you want more. So at a point, you have to decide which is more important to you. Is it taking it or not taking it? The decision is going to be entirely yours. I don't see any country going to make it a bylaw where everybody will have to take it. But the decision will be up to you. And when you do make those decisions, there has to be trade-offs. There has to be trade-offs on some of your beliefs that is pulling you back from not deciding to do it right now. There's definitely something holding you back. You understand? So those are the trade-offs that you have to accept. Um, Another one is try to achieve a consensus with yourself. Some decisions will affect more than one individual, and these decisions need to be shared. Let me give you an example. For a family planning to have children, for instance, it's going to be a decision for you and your spouse to agree on the arrangement that will satisfy both of you. You understand? So it's not just about you alone in this kind of scenario. It's so you definitely need to achieve some form of consensus with your spouse on how to go about this life-changing decision you all want to make. You understand? So it's important that you achieve that also. That will quickly help you to make a better decision when you understand where your spouse is coming from in this same scenario. It's a lot easier and makes decision making very more objective. Um, Lastly, is always look inward. Always look inward within yourself. Make sure you're not following the trend. Make sure the decision you're making is not because your neighbor did it. No, make sure the decision you're making is not because everybody is saying it. So you don't start living with regrets or doubts. So look inward, confirm that you're making the decision for yourself instead of following what all the crowd are saying, or trying to do what someone else is doing. You know, it's important that you understand that your happiness depends on you listening to your heart. Your definition of fulfillment and success is what really counts to you. So it's important that you look inward when you're faced with indecisiveness. Don't don't follow the Joneses. Don't follow what the Joneses are saying. Don't do it because the Joneses are doing it. Are you able? Does your reality afford that decision you are about to make? Because my neighbor just bought a Lexus does not mean I have to go buy a Lexus. Can I afford to buy a Lexus? If I can afford to buy a Lexus, in the order of my priorities right now, is that what I should be doing? My neighbor has a 2-year-old, I have a 28-year-old, or I have a 17-year-old. I have university bills coming. He doesn't have university bills coming. So these are the things that you need to make sure that you put into perspective, when you are about to make a decision, and don't follow the Joneses. Make sure you look inward, look at your situation, make sure that the decision you are making augurs well with your current reality and situation. In conclusion, indecisiveness can lead to frustration. Indecisiveness can lead to lots of wasted time, and it can also lead to lots of lost opportunities. It's important you free yourself from all this excessive doubt and second guessing yourself. You have to choose a course and move forward when the stakes are high. It's either the results will turn in your favor, or at least you can learn from the experience, and then you make necessary adjustments. What's important, you're going out in the week today, as you're going out into the world today, some people already started their day. It's important that you do understand all these consequences when you don't make decisions effectively and on time. Once again, it's your coach, Lukeman. I'll take this opportunity again to invite you to join our Success Mindset Club Facebook group. It's a group that we come together and support each other and share successful mindset stories, motivate and inspire each other. I'm sure you really love the community, so please come and join that community. And also, I'm going to be announcing in the next couple of next 48 hours. I'm putting together a workshop for my tribe. It's going to be a free workshop. I just feel there's a need for my tribe now to come together. And the title of the workshop is going to be called The Millionaire Mindset. The Millionaire Mindset. We're going to start, let's come together and mastermind with each other on how to set our mind into a progressive millionaire mode into 2021. So this workshop is going to happen early February. We're putting all final details to all the logistics, and like I said, in the next 48 hours, we should be making the announcements for all the details. It's going to be a virtual workshop. So you guys don't worry. It's something that you can do from the comforts of your living room or from your office, and but it's going to be a good fun time. A lot of nuggets are going to be learned, and we're all going to change each other's mindset. We're going to work on each other's mindset to start focusing on the successful part in 2021. Stay blessed, everybody, and I shall be seeing you again next week, Monday. Have a blessed week. Bye.